Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. The following content may involve explicit language and materials, so listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back, everyone. I am so excited because we have another brand new guest. This is Tommy from Let's Get Freaky. I'm so excited because the moment he got on here, all right, hold on, ready, wait. Okay, say hello.
Hello.
Oh, isn't that great? Okay. This is going to be a good episode. I'm going to try not to get too distracted. For those of you who are patrons, which if you're not, what the fuck are you waiting on? Go check it out. You might see me blushing here. So we'll see how it goes. Main reason I started doing video was because all of this weird stuff was happening. And I was like, no one's going to believe me. So you can be a patron. You can go find out that I am not yanking your chain. The shit's real. And it's up to you. I do have my other phone here. I forgot about it and found it 2 years later in a lunchbox. But it's here. And I have a ghost tube app that I use for like my spirit box sessions. I was playing with it earlier, and actually whatever was in here was reminding me to record with you because I was doing my thing, making my little necklaces for my event, and then it goes 10. And I got my attention because I hadn't said anything for a long time. And then it was just like 10. And I was like, 10 what? And then I looked down, exactly 10 minutes until we were supposed to record. I was like,
oh wow.
I'm like, thanks, I appreciate it. Then it goes, you're funny. And I was like, oh, thanks. But as always, I like to give a little bit of time here at the beginning to let you have your own little advertising section because I don't like to add the ones in that are recording and everybody just go, and then just skip. We're doing a live advertisement here. So take it away, Tommy.
Right, well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Very excited.
Yeah, me too now.
Tommy Cullen from Let's Get Freaky podcast. Like you, we talk all things strange and freaky, ghosts, cryptids, UFOs. I have different guests on that share their experiences, their thoughts, opinions on the paranormal and high strangeness. A little bit of conspiracy as well. I love it all because I think they're connected. I don't think we can have paranormal without conspiracy. I think they come together. So, yeah, that's what we do. And, we're on all the podcast platforms. We're on YouTube now as well. Let's Get Freaky podcast. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. And again, everybody, per the norm, because Tommy, I believe, filled out the lovely thing that I put on my website. All of his links are going to be in the description. So if you're wanting to hold off till later, maybe you're driving in your car, a lot of people listen there, or whatever, pull over or wait till you get to your destination and go check out all the links and make sure that you subscribe. We'll do that again at the end, but just to make sure everybody knows, resources, links, and all that will be below also.
And make sure you're not driving. Pull over.
Yeah.
And safely do it.
Yeah, pull over, use your turn signal. And I'm sorry, but I have to say this. We were talking about the price of Zoom before we started, and I was talking about how it was $159. And what did you say it was?
I can't exactly. I think it was.
What was it? What was
So
it before?
When I first ever paid for Zoom, it was £80. It's about that price, and it's gone up.
What you call it? Quid? And I was
Quid,
going,
yeah, 80 quid.
and we're gonna pretend that I didn't imagine 80 squid.
Because
I'm going, and we did throw back to Organism 46B. But I was like, 80 squids. And I'm going,
80 squids, man. Some people do say that.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Okay, so where exactly are you again?
So I'm from Essex, which is right next to London. That's where I'm from. I live in Dorset now, which is only 2 hours from London, but I'm more in the countryside now.
So either way, you ain't from around here is what you're saying.
Nah.
I just wanted to point that out. And I was like,
I'm
hello.
over the pond. I'm over the pond.
Yeah. But, have you recorded with Liam yet from Let's Talk About?
Yes, many times. Yeah. Liam's
I love
awesome.
him. Him and his damn, what do they call it? The salad finger guy or whatever.
Yeah. He's from up north. He's on the other side of the UK to me.
Oh, so is that like the other side of the tracks?
Yeah.
So which side's the good side? Are you on the good side or is he
he's on the
side?
He's on the rough side. He'll say I'm on the rough side, but I'll say he's on the rough side.
It's
that's just the way it is. We're all tribal. We're all tribal.
Shots fired. But
no, he's a cool dude, man.
We are in this weird twilight zone. We have two gingers recording right now.
This guy.
I know, right? I was like, oh my gosh, what are the odds? Oh, did you see my post I made this morning? Chris Holmes that I recorded with made me a little animated person. So I am
Oh,
a fox
wow.
and I am smoking. And what's weird is if you go look at my post, I think it's only on Facebook right now, but he did a phenomenal job. And what's great is he sent me what he made today. Last night, I was using a filter on Snapchat, just dicking around. And I shit you not, what he made looks almost identical.
Wow.
And I was like, how did you even? And he didn't know, I didn't know. But hold
He's
on a
got some
second.
skill. He's
Oh,
awesome.
he is fantastic. He did such great work.
He's cool.
Even the ears were spot on. I was like, how did he do that?
I love
wish it
that
was so-
style. I love that style, man. It's so cool.
Hey, all I got to say is I make one foxy fox. So before we get down and dirty into our little topic here, I wanted to switch things up. We're going to do something a little fun. Back on the horror episode, we did a little obit reading, but I'm going to switch it up because you're not into that kind of stuff. So I have this new book here. To be fair, I don't really know where it came from. I just kind of found it, which happens to me a lot. It's called Interesting Facts for Curious Minds. So it's 1,572 random but mind-blowing facts about just random shit. So I found some that I thought might be kind of interesting here. And I wanted to read a few to you to see what your thoughts would be. So
Oh, wow.
many people in Central America believe in a canine creature known as, and I apologize ahead of time for all you people out there, oh my God, Cadejo? Cadejo? I don't know, something like that. Sorry, guys. But it's a creature that can be benevolent or malevolent. Dear God, they couldn't use small words, could they? In some countries, it's also said to move around like a deer, more so than a dog. And in some versions of it, the creature is also said to be dragging a chain that wraps around its neck. And in fact, some claim that the word dejo or whatever however you pronounce that, comes from the Spanish word for chain. Can you imagine being just out on a little stroll and this asshole just comes up to you with this like dragging this chain? Hold on. I too sometimes feel like I'm dragging around a ball and chain. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes, yes.
That would be wild to see something like that. I can't imagine it'd be very fast, though, if it's pulling a chain. But
Well, how big's the chain? What if it's like a little...
if it's a tiny little necklace like this, then it won't be.
Yeah. Huh. And then, like, how long is it? Is it like 6 inches? Oh my God. Is it a male or a female 6 inches or 3 feet? I mean, what are we talking here? Is it like rickety, like all rusted out and bubbled over because the paint
Yeah.
sucks? Wait, would that mean that it was somebody's pet? Maybe it escaped?
Wow.
What if it's an escaped hellhound?
Very freaky.
It's always possible. Okay, so now we're going to get back into my heritage, which I'm going to do some serious shame here. Sorry, my dear brethren. I can't say this. In Lincoln, I'm not even going to try it. In Wales, some locals think that a creature called Englishtor, at least I can at least somewhat pronounce it. This sounded like Google. Woo! All right. Hold the secrets to life and death. The inhabitants of the small village say their local church is haunted by the spirit, and located on the grounds of the church is the oldest living tree in Wales, which is believed to have begun growing in the Bronze Age. Each year on Halloween and on the 31st of July, Englishtor is said to appear beneath the tree and announces in Welsh, rather grimly, they might add, the name of the parish members who will die shortly.
Wow. There was something on I'm pretty sure this might be wrong, so I'm sorry if it is wrong. But there was something on the news very recently about that tree. I'm sure there was, about the oldest tree in Wales.
No, really?
I'm sure.
I literally found some random ass
'cause-
fact that it's relevant.
Yeah, well, someone vandalized it. Now, if I'm thinking if it's the right one, I'm pretty sure it was on the news quite recently.
Well, whoever you are, you dirtbag.
Scumbags, yeah.
Look
Who
at that.
vandalizes trees, man?
How do you vandalize?
Especially the
You can
oldest
spray
one.
paint it?
Yeah, I don't actually know. I can't remember what they actually
I don't
did to it.
know.
Yeah.
But can
It's-
you imagine that this thing, it comes up like by this tree and it's like, Tommy Cullen will die. And like a
No, 'cause-
list. If it's like Tommy Cullen and then it's like the next name. Joe Smith. They're probably not Wales names. I don't know. Well, Welsh people. Sorry. Bobby Welsh. I don't know. You do almost gives me a little bit of a feel of maybe a Welsh version of, say, oh my goodness, I could see your face. It's probably not a good thing. I don't need to be able to see your face. It's Irish. The Banshee. So the Banshee comes and somebody is going to, whether it's you or a family member, but they're going to die, essentially. It doesn't say anything about heritage, although I have heard that Banshees can only be seen by those who have Irish heritage. So it's like a bloodline thing. This particular one didn't say anything about that, but yeah. So that's a little weird. And it didn't really have a description.
Is there a picture of the tree?
Huh?
Is there a picture there?
No, it's just words.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Just really hard to pronounce words.
Yeah.
One more before we hop in. So it's the Black Volga, and it's an urban myth popular in Eastern Bloc. And the myth stated that mysterious men drove a black Volga limousine, abducting unsuspecting children. I'm not really sure this is urban legend. This might be a legit thing. And this is some true crime shit. I don't think this is urban legend. It's like Jeepers, it's the Creeper meets Men in Black. Wait. What if the kids they're abducting are actually just alien hybrids that were planted, and then after so many years, they just reaped them? That is creepy. Do the parents know? Do they know that their kid might be a hybrid and they're going to get got?
Where was this? Sorry. Where did this happen?
Well, it just is it's an urban myth of Block. So I don't know.
Man.
It's weird. Isn't that weird? Sorry. Wasn't that Austin Powers Gold member? Isn't that weird? All right. I did not take my Adderall earlier, so I apologize. And one more fun, freaky thing for you, because it's going to be funny. We're going to play a game.
Oh.
For my listeners that can't see, go find a way to see. So this is your name, right? That's your name?
Correct.
Don't wear it out? Okay, so we're going to write my name. This is my name, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now we're going to do yours first. You are Yamot.
Okay.
Now watch, we're going to do mine. Ready? This is going to get good. This is where it gets funny. This is mine.
Can I say it?
Yeah, off Satan.
Oh.
So all my listeners out there, go write your name forwards and backwards and tell me if you have any weird names that come up. So far, I've yet to find anybody who's got one as weird as mine.
That is freaky, man.
So
Mine's just weird. I just sound like
Yamat. Yours looks freakishly Egyptian. And speaking of, that is a good segue that I did not plan. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
You drink your water. I'm going to have my cranberry vodka. Get ready. So way back on the timeline of life, I'm talking 1341 BC to be exact, a boy was born. Just a regular boy. However, this boy specifically would leave an imprint on history that will never die. This young man was left with the world on his shoulders at the ripe young age of 9 once his father passed away. Now, because of the day and age, as most people, he only lived to see 19 short years before he too had a meeting with Anubis after a suspected bout of malaria. Any guesses as to who we're talking about?
No.
Young man in a position of power in Egypt.
I think I know, but I don't want to get it completely wrong and look like a total.
Yeah, you can be wrong. We're allowed to be wrong here. That's
I
the
can't
cool
actually
thing
remember his name as well. That's the other
Oh.
thing.
Okay, well, we're going to get it. So,
Once you say it, I'll be like,
here's
that's what I was
Yes.
thinking of.
this is actually King Tut.
I say.
Yeah. All right.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I totally was going to say that. It's real, guys. I can usually tell what people are going to say. And he, in fact, was thinking King Tut. I could tell.
Yes.
I've actually been I've been on point and been like freaking people out with the amount of stuff I've been able to say before they say or know what they're talking about without them saying it. I've been on
Yep.
fire. The stars are aligning. Maybe it's close to my birthday. On November 4th, forward to 1922, archaeologist Howard Carter and financial contributor Lord Carter, such a funny name, Carnarvon, Lord Carnarvon, is that better? Stood in the dimly lit opening of the most intact pharaoh's tomb in the Valley of the Kings. Now, it took until February 16th of 1923, so like 7 months later, for the seal to the tomb to be broken. And this is again the tomb of King Tut. I'm not even going to try to get the one out of it. So it's going to be just King Tut. Now, his tomb was untouched for more than 3,000 years. That is the hell of
Long time.
Ziploc. That's like the master Ziploc. And what were they? Tupperware. God, can you imagine? Put King Tut in the fridge. Anyway, sorry, distracted. Just pop the top. Is it still fresh? Take a big whiff. Roy, don't you burp them? Do they burp him before they put him in like a baby? Oh, geez. Oh, I'm horrible. I'm going to hell. But anyway, on one hand, these men became instant celebrities for their discovery. On the other hand, there is said to be a horrible curse associated with violating the mummified remains that bring upon massive bad luck, severely traumatizing illnesses, and even death. So, not so lucky. Is that like 15 minutes of fame? Is it worth it? I'm just really going with the humor on this death thing. I apologize, guys. Death has no hold here. Now, we had some issues. We started off a little bad here, right? So the archaeologists tried to pry the poor boy's remains from the inside of the coffin and damaged the mummy, trying to just get it out.
Man.
Just damage. Now, if you weren't cursed before, your ass is cursed now.
Yeah.
That just, nope.
I wouldn't touch it, man. There's no way.
Oh, yeah. I've seen The Mummy, and trust me, Brendan Fraser is the bomb. But, oh, God, that movie, I've watched it so many times. Just get me a bib. Anyway, because it had some issues getting out, it increased the difficulty of determining his cause of death because you fucked up the remains, as you would with any other crime scene, right? Well, this was not technically a crime scene, but you know what I mean. A lot of rumors circulated that there was this following line written somewhere, either on the outside of the tomb or in the tomb or something. And it says, quote, "Death will come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king."
Oh, man.
That's dope, man.
Oh, if you're the dude that's opened him up, you're in trouble, man.
It's been proven that nobody could find that particular line written anywhere. But one, I don't read hieroglyphs, and two, I ain't ever been there, so I can't vouch for sure. But supposedly people kind of got that out. Now, another interesting thing that happened right off the gate, it was like, boom, so they open it, they messed the poor guy up on the way out. Before they even cracked open the tomb, a cobra made its way into Carter's home and literally ate his canary, his prized bird.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of a figure of speech too? Somebody the cat ate the canary or
Yeah.
something, like when you're,
Yeah.
what is that for again exactly? It's like when you're lying or something.
I'm not sure, man.
Okay,
That's
everybody out
wild.
there, if you know what eating the canary or something means, hit me up because I can't remember. I think it has something to do with, like, you get busted, right? Like you get caught with your pants down. I
Yeah.
think that's something about eating the canary because you just know that they did it. Maybe.
I'm
Either
terrible
way.
at stuff.
Yeah. What do you know? You're across the pond.
Exactly. I don't know anything.
I feel like I'm translating for Liam again. It's okay. He had to do the same thing to me. I'm like, what? Man, I miss him. I need to talk to him soon. Shout out, Liam. Oh,
He's a good dude, man. Yeah.
he's fantastic. I met a guy at work who looks like him. It's really funny. I haven't told him that yet. Now, again, before they even open it, snake comes in. One, I don't know how the hell the snake got to the bird. and ate it,
Was it-
but it ate it.
So the bird wasn't in a cage. Oh, I don't know if it's a snake, you can get through a cage, get through a little bird cage.
It'd be, how did it get up? Well, what if it's maybe like a cage on a table? Maybe it's not like one of those like hanging cages.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just
Yeah.
like a, hell, I don't know. Lock up your
Well-
birds. Now, only 4 short months after the discovery of the tomb, Arnavan was found dead at age 57.
Oh,
His
my
co-
God.
Yeah, his cause of death was determined to be pneumonia supervening on, oh dear heavens, erysipelas. I think it's Erysipelas, which basically means streptococcal infection of the skin and underlying soft tissue. So like it was like all up in there, which kind of makes sense. I believe there was another tomb, I wish I could remember who it was, where the scientists or the people that discovered it, they stumbled across it, they opened it because there was this ancient bacteria. It infected everybody who got near it.
Wow.
We no longer had that immunity that they had built up over years, and we hadn't been exposed to it. So they got all got sick. I don't know if they died, but they got really
That's
sick.
wild.
Yep.
Now,
Right,
one
I
should be
think
messing with
that's-
this stuff. Yeah.
Now, granted, it is Egypt, so it's not like it's hang on to your britches, guys. I know a lot of people are out there going to be screaming moist, but
Yeah.
so maybe mold isn't. I don't know how that works.
Man.
I don't know. And after so many years, would mold still be there? Either way, this poor guy suffered extremely high fevers, excruciating pain, pneumonia in actually both of his lungs, and eventually heart and respiratory failure. That's intense.
Mhm.
Now, the chain of declining health began after his exposure. Oh, look at that. Look at me. To a mold named Aspergillus from entering the tombs. So before he got in the tomb, he was fine. He goes in the tomb, he gets that mold in his lungs, TKO.
Game over.
Yeah. A lot of experts disagree, though, and say that he was likely sick before he made it to the tomb. But my thing is a lot of people that go on these treks and these excavations, they don't take people with them who are ill because it is a damage. It's like an insurance problem.
Mm-hmm.
One, you don't want this person to die while they're on the dig site, and then you have to close the dig site down and blah, blah, blah. And you don't want to be responsible. They slow the team down, all of that. So I have a hard time thinking that this guy was in like tip top shape. He's 57.
It's young.
Oh my
man.
God, my husband's 57. He was my husband's age. Oh my God.
It's young. It's very young.
Yeah. It's really
How long ago was this? Sorry. Was it?
1923?
Okay. So, yeah. It's older. In 1923, 57 was older than it is now.
This is a different 57.
Yeah. 57 now.
My pin's like 120 now.
Yeah, exactly. He was old.
Yeah.
For the time.
So they said he was probably sick beforehand, and he would have never made it like to the tomb, but he already was in the I don't
Yeah.
I
And you
don't
feel sick
I
before.
think there were
Why
some
would you?
issues there.
Why would you go to a tomb if you're feeling a bit?
This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
I guess so. Yeah.
Did you like how that came out? That came out. I
That
knew
was
it gonna
that was
happen.
amazing.
Well, I'm actually pretty good at it.
That
My
was
son,
good.
my son really likes it when I do Arnold Schwarzenegger because every now and then I do it, and it sounds just like him. He's like, "How the hell do you do that, Mom?" But
Do
it's
it.
always the like, I don't know if I could do it on demand though. I'll be reading it eventually. I'll just try to see if I can sneak it in. Because it's funny because I have to throw my head back and make it like guttural, like bringing my inner demon to get the Schwarzenegger out. I can't ever say his damn name. The Arnold out. But anyway, so after the Carnarvon died, his half brother, oh dear God, these people and their names, Sir Archibald Douglas Reed,
Great name.
met his demise right afterwards. So he was said to be the one to do the x-rays of the mummy, ironically. And his first affliction was developing radiation dermatitis in his fingers. Following his slowly deteriorating health, he died during abdominal surgery. I don't know how old this guy was, but you got to think, if this guy's doing x-rays on the mummy, he's probably been doing x-rays for a long time. So now, whether or not it's the buildup of doing so many x-rays for so long that caused the radiation dermatitis, or it was just ironic that this case is the one, maybe something was funky. I don't know. But it is a little interesting that out of all his x-rays, this is the one that takes him down.
Yeah.
And he ain't got the guts for it.
Mm-hmm.
He died during abdominal surgery. Oh, geez. All right, here you go. Ready? And then supposedly, British archaeologist Hugh Evelyn White hanged himself and was tried, or was said to have left a note that said, "I have succumbed to the mummy's curse."
No way.
Supposedly. I don't know. I ain't see the note. I don't know, but that's just what they say.
Does it say how long after that was?
Nope.
That's weird though, man. I succumbed to the mummy's curse.
Like, what the hell has happened to this guy for him to...
That's got into his mind for sure.
Yeah, something must have been... What if something in there got to him, whether it be the aspergillus or whatever, but it like got in his brain, and then he was like hallucinating and all of that? Kind of like syphilis turns your brain into Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
So maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not done yet. There's more. This hit list just keeps going. So Prince Ali, I want to say Camel, but I know it's probably Kamal Fahmy Bey. Oh my God. Ali Kamal Fahmy Bey, I think it's right. You just say it all together. It sounds better. Was obviously from Egypt. And he was murdered by a shot from his wife. I don't know how that's related to the curse, but it is interesting.
Yeah. So bad things happen to all of them, basically.
Yes. And another victim of the curse was said to be Sir Lee Stack.
Right name.
I know, right? The Governor General of Sudan. That does not sound like a Sudan name. But anyway, he was assassinated while being driven through the streets of Cairo. So this is like a JFK before JFK situation. Interesting. I didn't put that together till just now. Anyway, wonder where does this shot come from? Arthur Mace, who was also on the excavation team, and he died of arsenic poisoning 6 years after finding the tomb. I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty sure arsenic takes a little shorter time to actually knock someone down. So I don't think, unless he was excavating items up until that point, because sometimes it takes years to do the dig, and maybe he popped into something that had arsenic in it. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting that happened. Then Richard Bell, which is Carter, so the first guy's secretary, was found smothered to death in his bed. And then his father committed suicide the next year.
Almost.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Carter, on the other hand, so some people attribute his death to the curse, but I'm a little skeptical because this dude ended up dying of Hodgkin's disease at 64. I don't think that's related at all. It's much later. It has nothing to do with anything they were exposed to. It just doesn't make sense. Most of the deaths were said to be a result of the curse that seemed to kind of go well past the discovery of the tomb itself. So I'm not really sure if we could say that they were attributed to the curse. Maybe they weren't. I don't know how long that they dug in there, how long they were taking things out. I don't know. There were a few deaths that were close to the discovery date or appear to be really kind of odd situations. So it might be like a Final Destination kind of situation where it's just like a freak accident, even though it is correlated to what happened. It doesn't seem like it because it is so far out there. What do you think about it? Do you think it's real or bullshit?
I think it's real.
You think the curse is real?
Yeah, I believe in curses, and I think, especially with the Egyptians, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of mysteries that we don't know. We don't really know exactly what they were, what they did. Obviously, it seems that their technology was beyond what we can contemplate now. So there's obviously a lot of stuff going on that we don't know. And I do believe that it is possible. What's the chances of all those dudes having those bad things happening? I know back in those days, these
Well, let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, actually by the time I was 22, I had been told on 3 occasions, maybe 4, that 1, I should be dead. 2, there's a 1 in a 100,000 million chance that this is going to happen or it won't happen. And every fucking time it happened. Every time. The most freak accidents. It's weird stuff happens to me all the time. And then there's stories of the one guy, I was watching this documentary and this guy was struck by lightning 7 times and he's fine. What are the odds of that? Yeah, right. I was like, well,
His ball's going off. The ball's going on. What does that mean?
that means that somebody thought that was funny.
Oh, wow.
Well, usually, okay. So
Hang on, can you set that off? Or can you set it off by movement?
right here. I'm like, there's nothing here. It's all
Oh, wow.
air. Yeah.
I thought it was
There's-
closer than that.
There's here. Hold on. There.
Oh, wow.
It's 3 feet behind me. And behind it is just a brick wall. So
That's
there's,
wild.
yeah, there's nothing there. Earlier, I did a spirit box session, and actually, that was the only ball that went off. And I was really surprised because that one doesn't normally go off.
Interesting.
So, hi, thanks for
Can we-
visiting us.
Can we do a call out? See if anything's there?
Here, yeah, let's see if we can figure out what's going on. We can open this. It's probably not Philip. This is Philip's ball. This is the kid's ball. And then these 2 are just for visitors. I just don't know who the visitors. Hello?
If this
Oh.
goes off. Sorry.
I forgot to tell you too. When the ball lights up, it's usually a yes or them acknowledging. A lot of times it happens after jokes. So we've decided that they like jokes. I have some good sense of humor ghosts here.
We got some jokes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's weird stuff. It's it's
That's cool. When I heard it and I listened back, I've heard voices that at the
Yeah.
time we didn't hear at the time.
here. Touch. Yeah, you touched it. Can you touch it again? Oh, look up here. My K2 meter is going. What should I do? Well, can you set off that light bulb for me again? That'd be nice. Can you do that, please? I see you got the meter. Oh, the meter's going again.
That was going before as well. When you was talking, I didn't realise.
What's going on?
This is the closest I've got to paranormal
Yeah.
investigating.
Oh, really? I do it all the time. This is normal. This is just, they follow me everywhere.
I talk to a lot of people that do it, and I've never really done it paranormal investigating properly. I'd like to. This is my first sort of.
Well, I just hang out, so they're usually here. I see that you hit my meter. Can you hit the ball again for me, please, and light it up? Earlier, it wouldn't tell me who it was. Well, thank you for getting that one. I want you to hit the bottom one. Can you hit the bottom one that lights up?
So you were in a haunted house.
It's not the house.
It follows you.
They always
he's
follow
gonna-
me.
I need to get
literally-
you on. Let's get freaky. I'm
Yeah.
pitching to you. I've got to
I
talk
mean-
to you about this.
Oh yeah, since I can remember, they're just always there. They go to work with me. They're in every house that I've been in. They all kind of follow me around everywhere. I know most of them, but every now and then I get some visitors. But here, I was going to turn the lights up so you can see how far back that ball is from me. Back here. But yeah.
Do you see them as well?
So sometimes I do. A lot of times they're kind of in the peripheral, but I have had some that were very blatantly there.
Mhm.
A lot of times in mirrors. I had one face to face with me once. I really didn't even know that it says bless. Gertrude's an old lady, so she kind of chimes in every now and then. But she likes to tell me that I'm rude and disrespectful and that I need to be quiet. That's literally what she tells me all the time. She's disrespectful. I'm like, and then it will. One time I was like, really? I'm like, stop talking to me. It was Gertrude. I was like, okay. Hi, Gertrude. I think she likes to hang out in my bathroom too.
Wow. I can't wait to get you on. Let's get freaky.
Yeah.
And get
So when I go
into that.
when I go in the bathroom, my lights will flicker all the time. And even whenever I go to bed, when I go to bed around the same time, if I go to bed, whether it's 9 or midnight, doesn't matter. If I go sit down, only the lamp next to me will flicker. And I have it. I've recorded it doing it.
Wow. Every
Yeah.
time.
Every night it does it.
Wow.
And I've had it work, doors open, and I wasn't even the only person who saw it. And we've heard things the other day. Something was saying something to me. I thought it was somebody else, but I knew it wasn't their voice. So I was really confused because we were alone. And they were in the other room and it did not sound anything like them. And then when I came out, I was like, did you say something? He's like, what are you talking about? like, because it was just like, yeah. That's all it said. Yeah.
Wow.
Like I asked a question, and it just goes, yeah. Okay.
That's cool, man.
And I've had a lady like chime in, and I was listening and record or doing my editing, and all of a sudden it was like static, and then it got quiet, and then it goes, hello. And I didn't even hesitate. I just go, oh, hi. And then it went staticky and then quiet again. And I was like, that was weird. So I backed it up and played it through again, and it wasn't there. It was only like as I was doing it.
Wow.
It sounded really, she sounded young. What I was getting from her was like almost like Amelia Earhart kind of voice vibe. And she had, I was getting this picture of this wavy, almost like a short pinup kind of hair.
Mm-hmm.
And which looks a lot like my grandma that I never met my grandma. She died when my mom was 12. But yeah, so I was like, well, maybe it was her. I don't know.
Well, that's cool. I find it wild how they can mess with our technology. That's so cool, man.
Okay.
Wow.
Sorry. That was. Okay. Is there something on my back?
Oh, I just saw your hair moved. That's. No, I can't see anything. What do you think it was a spider or?
Well, it's like something felt like it just went like on my back. And I was like, whoa. Okay. Okay. Can we not touch me? Don't touch me. You can touch all the stuff back there. Just don't touch me.
I saw your hair sort of flicker. I don't know if that was just.
Okay.
That's cool.
Something was messing with my hair the other day. I was doing was I recording or was it a live? I think I was recording with Stacy from early on Wednesdays. And
Okay. Yeah.
I was watching the video, and you just see my hair all of a sudden. My hair just was moving, and it was all of it was fine, except this one piece was just like dangling and moving around. I was like,
That's wild.
it is weird. Okay, yeah. We know this must be a new person because they don't know not to touch me. Don't touch me.
Yeah.
Touch all the balls. You can touch all the balls you want, all the lights you want. Just don't touch me. Thanks.
Oh, I just heard a voice.
Flame.
Man, you're freaking me out.
This flame. It was even literally drawn out too. Flame.
Because I've got activity going on where there's a lot going on. My family are experiencing it. I've obviously experienced it. I've been told by 2 separate people that there's something in the corner of my studio.
I have one in the corner of my studio. It's over here. Like
Yeah.
every now and then there's something like that just kind of hangs out. That's so weird.
It is,
You
man.
should get these sensors.
I don't know. I think it might freak me out a little bit. If they're going off, I'll be like, oh. Yeah, I know.
Well, actually, when I first got them, nothing would touch them. I literally had to train them. I was like, it's okay here. And I would set up, I'm like, see, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt anything. You can touch it. It's okay. It's not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything. You're fine. It's safe.
Yeah.
And I had to leave them in here for 2 weeks. And then they finally, when one went off, they then were like, oh, okay. And so now some of them
That's
go
how
off.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That's wild. See, as much as I love paranormal and I'm really fascinated by it, I've had a lot of experiences myself. I still get very scared. And
Really?
I still don't want it in my house. But a lot of stuff happens, but I don't want it.
Well, yeah.
No
Mine just like,
disrespect to any of them. You know,
mine's more so I'm used to it.
Mhm.
So it doesn't bother me. And the plus side is I am pretty sensitive. So I know, like, I could feel them when usually if they're okay. If it's something, like, if something is not pleasant, I have one, hopefully it doesn't come in here because we talk about him. One of them is not the nicest. I don't even think that it necessarily is human or ever was human, really.
Mhm.
And when it's in here, I start breaking out. I get like splotchy and I get nauseous. And there's been a couple times I had to stop. Like I was doing a live show and I had to stop and leave.
Wow.
And I've had spontaneous bloody noses and yeah. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's the
But
scary
most of them are
side of it
pretty-
stuff.
most of them are pretty cool
Yeah.
and they have good sense of humor. But anywho,
Oh. Sorry about that.
they know the rules. They know that in the studio. So before I record, I turn the lights on or I turn the balls on and I tell them they're more than, well, chilling. It says chilling. Yeah, we're just chilling. Yep.
Yeah.
And they know that we just chill in the studio. And that's literally what I call it. It's kind of funny. That's the word it chose. I'm like, you guys can reach out, hit the balls if you want to know you're there. We'll ask you questions. Feel free. They're a part of it too.
Mm,
And I just have fun.
that is
so-
cool.
Yeah. It's never a dull moment. But yeah, that was just chilling. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, feel free to chill. One thing I did want to point out about our King Tut situations. I feel like there are other cases that are maybe a little more substantial as far as Egyptian curses are going. I just feel like this one has a lot of stuff that's not.
And maybe that's why you felt something on your back?
I had one that protect. What are we protecting?
Oh, man.
Oh, I wonder if that's what it's talking about. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I usually have on my cross with it's got the prayer inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wear it to do investigations and stuff as to try to help. I don't know if it works or not, but I wear it just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times if I don't wear it, they point it out. Like they notice I don't have it on.
Interesting.
Why is my on my nose? Sorry, I keep scratching my nose because I keep feeling like there's something on my nose.
I would say that does help you. Then, if you get that feeling and you're being told that, then I would take that.
Yeah, don't go up my nostril, please.
Stop touching my nose.
It's like cocaine ghost. I just snort it. Hey,
Cocaine ghost. That'd be a cool film.
instead of cocaine bear, it's cocaine ghost.
Is there a cocaine Sasquatch or a cocaine Bigfoot? Or did I just see that as a joking
I don't-
thing?
I don't know.
I know there's
Maybe. I know
cocaine
just-
bear.
Yeah, there's cocaine bear.
Is there a cocaine Bigfoot? There should
don't know.
be.
I don't know. No, because everybody wants to make up seem like they're like all friendly and stuff.
Yeah, but if you have one that's just okay.
Pretty.
Yeah. We're weird, aren't we?
I'm like a built-in mood ring. All right, so I've got to ask, what do you think is the biggest mystery regarding Egypt? Do you think it's the Sphinx? Do you think it's the pyramid? What do you think it is?
I think there's so many. You know, like the coordinates of the pyramids
Mhm.
match up with what is it that the
Mayans and stuff?
yeah. There's so much. There's so much weird. Obviously, you've got the Sphinx.
I have an
And-
idea, but I don't
Mhm.
know.
Go for it.
My only thing would be at some point, land was one big block of land. Oh, no, you're good. I was just thinking with the ones, it's at one point we were one big chunk of land. Who's to say that we didn't learn the things that we learned when we were all one unit before we broke out? Because then that would make sense, maybe.
And why everything, we've all got the same legends and lore and very similar around the world, really. You think we've all got Bigfoot. We've all got our own version of Dogman.
Yeah, creatures. I'm not sure about creatures. I'm just thinking of like the Mayan pyramids being similar to the Egyptian pyramids as far as structurally and how they're built and all of that stuff. Even though their items that are included, the architectural differences are there, but essentially they're pyramids. They're shaped the same. My thing went off again. The one up here, yeah. And I feel like that maybe that, but then again, too, you had this. The sun's always been there directionally. So, do you think that pyramids are just pyramids, or do you think pyramids are markers? Do you think pyramids are what they say, giant batteries?
Yeah. I
But
think
if
there's
they're giant batteries, why do they not still work?
that's the thing.
Actually, there's a reason for that. Actually, I think I might know the answer to that one.
I don't know if we know, but obviously we don't know what they really are and stuff like that. But I think these guys were definitely a lot more advanced. Like we can't build pyramids now. We wouldn't be able to build that now. So they say.
And
How could we not build that now? That's what I don't get. That's what I'm like, how? Surely we could.
exactly, mine is how can we not build it now? And if
I'm
they
wearing a
could-
pyramid, by the way. I'm a
Oh, that's awesome. Oh,
ancient enigma.
that's see, look, coincidence?
Yeah,
I
but
think not,
don't believe them anymore.
because I picked this topic for you. What, 2 months ago?
Oh, wow.
Literally, when I talked to you, I marked this topic for you.
Okay.
It's been sitting in here the whole time.
Interesting. It's weird.
Oh,
It is
it's
weird, man.
Twilight Zone. Please keep your hands and feet inside the
You
vehicle.
know, I didn't know that.
Fine.
Obviously, I didn't know that. And yeah, it's weird.
He had
man.
no idea. I always they kind of know the drill. I spring it on everybody. I usually don't tell
Yeah.
anybody the topic.
Yeah.
I might say if it's a cryptid or spooky or whatever, but I never tell them what it really is until we get into it because I like genuine responses.
Yeah.
and keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
I'm really kind of disappointed that you, by the way, are a New England fan, but we'll let that one pass.
I want to move to New England. That's my goal. That's my dream.
I want to move to Seattle,
Okay. The other side.
where there's not that much sun and it doesn't get hot.
Come to England then.
Want to go there. I really want to go
Yes.
there. Now, which cryptid is your favorite?
Oh, good question. I'm going to have to say Bigfoot because he was Nessie was probably the first because in the UK, Nessie's obviously the most famous, but obviously Bigfoot as well. I remember getting the Guinness Book of Record book when I was a kid and it had all these mad stuff in it, obviously. And I remember seeing the Patterson Gimlin pictures for the first time and just being like, oh,
Did you see those? But they said they were fake.
no,
Like
I'm not having that.
the people took them, said they were fake, supposedly. Now,
What?
whether or not they were paid to do, I don't know, but
What, Bob Gimlin?
I don't know. I haven't dug into it, but I have heard that they ended up saying that it was fake.
I just think, for me, it's legit. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't take the video.
But I'm also thinking, under what threatening circumstances would you agree to say that it is fake so that your ass is covered?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I've talked to people that have looked into like Dogman and stuff like that have told me that they've been warned to stop talking about it.
Mhm.
I've talked to people that said, and I'm sure you have as well.
I've had a couple on my show,
Yeah.
and so my favorite's Snallygaster. I love Snally. And then, so how do you feel about alien abductions?
I've talked to a lot of people
What's wrong with my nose? I'm sorry, this is driving me nuts. I literally did not a few minutes ago. Okay, sorry. Continue.
I think there's something going on for sure. I've talked to a lot of people that have experienced it. Obviously, there seems to be a connection with everyone that experiences it. Like seems to be something to do with, I don't know. I don't even know where am I going with that. But I think it's legit. I really do. I think whether it's aliens coming from another planet or dimension, whatever, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think it could be a mixture of different things. I think there could be that. There could be interdimensional beings. There could be entities from another universe. I think all of those things could be true, and there could be a lot of different things happening. But I think there's definitely something going on. I think too many people experience it. I think, yeah. So there's, yeah.
Have you ever seen the X-Files?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So I watched that one, and I got to ask about Bigfoot, okay? If I don't ask you this, I'm going to feel bad. Do you think that Bigfoot is a creature? Do you think it's alien? Do you think it's interdimensional? What do you think it is?
Again, on the fence, I think that there is different types. I think you could get interdimensional ones that seem to be more supernatural. And then I think you could possibly get something that fits the description of a Bigfoot, that is like a flesh and blood creature. We know that we definitely had creatures like that at one point. Like there definitely was I'm not going to be able to say it, the Giantopithecus. No, I've not said that right.
Giantopithecus.
That's the one. So we know we had that. And too many people have seen it. Too many people have had experiences. I know a lot of the videos are blurry and a lot of them probably aren't legit. But for me, the Patterson Gimlin one I like to think that is.
I feel like that is the best footage because no one has been able to debunk it after all these years. What the hell?
And you think when that was taken, that video, like, obviously now you could probably fake that video. Now we could probably, but back then, I don't think you could. I don't think that the muscle definition.
Yeah, it's the movement and, like you said, the definition and just how it's just something about it. It's crazy to me, and I sometimes wonder if, like, I don't know, interdimensional seems somewhat plausible, but I'm still, I don't know. It's really, I'm with you. It's hard to wrap your mind around it. I feel like on one hand, with it being physical, I feel like even though we are in all these different circumstances, there should have been some evidence. There should be something left behind. if we can find a fucking triceratops kneecap like in the mud, there should be a Bigfoot thing.
Mhm.
And because it's not like they have a 100% recon rate, like they got to go into the other dimension and pick up the body.
Yeah.
It's just, it seems,
I know what you're saying. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
But I've seen footage that I'm like, there's no way this is anything else.
Mhm.
So it's, I
No,
would definitely not go looking for it. That's for sure.
I want to one day. When I talk to people in the UK, I've talked to a lot of people in the UK that have seen these creatures in the UK. I think that if they're here in the UK, then there's got to be a supernatural element to them. Because obviously, we have got some big land here and forests that you could probably get lost in. But I just feel like you would be able to catch up with them here. Even saying that, we've got black panthers here. Some people say we've got black panthers here. My mother-in-law saw a black panther in the wild 20 years ago in Essex. She stands by that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there is stuff out there that we.
I saw a big cat.
Yeah.
It wasn't a panther. I wish it was a panther. I would have took it home. These things are badass. But it was, I only saw like the ass end of it and the tail.
Mhm.
And it looked straight up a cougar. I mean, it was like it didn't have a fluff at the end or anything. It was like a very long, thick, and it had the haunches that were the tan.
I've experienced quite a lot, to be fair. I never used to think I was someone that had a lot of experiences, but since the more I talk about it, so I've had quite a lot of weird stuff happen. I saw a ghost when I was 10 in my bedroom, definitely full-bodied apparition.
Oh, hell.
Now that was frightening. That for me was, because as a kid, I always knew that there was something there, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
when
You
I
could
saw
sense
that,
it.
I could sense it, and I was always
Mhm.
scared. I was always scared, especially in that house. And then I saw the dude that night. I saw a ghost that looked like William Shakespeare sitting at my desk in my bedroom, full-bodied, and he
Was
was
he
there.
writing you a poem? The spectral spear?
He was there all night. This guy was just sitting there, not moving, but full body, just like a man was sitting there in my room.
Was
And
it
I
like
just-
moving?
No, he wasn't moving. As far as I can remember, he wasn't even blinking. But I called my mum into the room, and I was hysterical. I was freaking out massively, and she couldn't see him. She was saying there's nothing there. And because I was quite a big, scared kid that always used to get up and try and get in bed with my mum and dad,
Yeah.
I think they were they've had enough of that. And they were like, no, you are staying in your bedroom. There's nothing there. And I remember like being scared of my mum.
Which one's worse, the ghost or my mother?
My mum will listen to this and she'll be like, oh no, because she always says sorry now whenever I talk about this. But it's okay, mum. And I went under the covers sweating because I was so scared. And I just kept looking, and this guy was just sitting there all night. And then somehow I fell asleep, woke up the next day, and he was gone. But I still see him now, man.
That's
Never
so
saw
weird.
that dude. Yeah.
Because it's like, it wasn't moving.
Moving. He was just sitting there sort of with his head like leaning on my desk basically and like looking up. But I don't even think he was looking at me. He was just sort of looking up in my, but I could see like everything perfect. The colour of his suit. He had long hair. Yeah, it was weird. Very strange.
It is very strange.
I've had other weirds. I've seen UFOs.
You have?
I've seen UFOs, yeah.
How close?
I was 14 years old when this happened. Me and my brother was playing football in the street with some friends. And we've all stopped and we've seen this object in the sky. We're all like, what is that? And it was just a weird, it was like this is going to sound weird, but it was like a building that you'd see in Dubai, a futuristic sort of building.
Yeah.
And it was just quite far in the distance, but we could see it just floating. And it didn't move. It was just still. And we were like, is that a balloon? And we were just looking at it for ages. And we don't know what it was. To this day, I don't know what it was. It was like orange, silvery colour, but it was just
Weird.
standing there. And the weird thing is, so we just started playing football again, which really annoys me because I want to know what it was. Young me just wanted to play football. And not that I forgot, because I wouldn't say I forgot this, because how could you forget something like that? But when I started Let's Get Freaky and I was sort of thinking about the things that I'd experienced, that never came into my mind.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's a big thing. And I was talking about it on Paranormal Heart podcast with Cat Ward. And that was the first show that I was on. And this memory came back to me, and I just started telling her about it. And I was like, that's weird. I've not even thought about that for years. And then my brother listened to the show, and he rang me up a couple of days later and was like, bro, what was that we saw that day? I remember seeing that. And we never spoke about it. And
Yeah.
so no idea what that was, but it was, I would say I put it in the UFO category. There could be a logical explanation, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was.
Maybe
It
you
looked
just
like a building.
found like the missing link for Atlantis. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Atlantis just took off and just,
It could have been meth.
that's just so weird.
Yeah.
So we've seen spooks, we've seen UFOs. Have you ever seen an alien?
Not that I know of. No, don't think so. I think they're walking among us. But I do think.
You think so?
I do. I'm smiling, but I really do think.
But how? They'd have to be a hybrid of some kind. Otherwise, we don't have the atmosphere we have here isn't anywhere else.
Well, I don't know what they are. I'm just guessing that they could walk among us, look like us. Maybe they don't even know they're aliens. They might just, well, we could be aliens. Or maybe we are aliens. I don't know. But
Maybe they're just one those one limousine didn't get.
yeah. I saw another really crazy UFO. I had another UFO experience as well. I've had a few because I'm always looking. I love it. Me and my mother-in-law we used to live in a flat in Brentwood in Essex, and we was on the fourth floor, the top floor of these block of flats. I know it wasn't super high, but anyway, we're looking out. Me and my mother-in-law were just looking out, and we saw 3 objects come out from a little forested area the other side of us. And they weren't like big, they were like basketball size, but they were constantly changing shape, these 3 objects.
Yeah.
And me and my mother-in-law are looking again. We're trying to work out what it is. No idea. Is it balloons? I don't know. We're just watching, but they're constantly changing shape. And they seem to be connected, but they weren't touching. And we're watching this for a good, whatever it was, 5 minutes, whatever it was. And they're just going up and up and up to the side. And then all of a sudden they went flash, these 3 objects. And it was that movement that was really like, wow.
When I was a kid, it's like the only time I've seen anything in the sky. I was up, we had some property my stepdad's family owned. It's like 100-something acres up there. And we were out in this big, huge field, and we were in the back of this truck. I don't remember why we were up there, but it was dark. We were up there. I don't know if it's 4th of July or what it was, but me and my brother were in the back of this truck, and we were just looking out, and we noticed, touch, please don't touch me. Touch the balls, or the sensor, please don't touch me. But we were in the back, and we look up, and like way off in the distance, there were 3 lights. There were circles, and it's like they were connected. Like you said, they were like connected, but they didn't really move a lot. They just kind of moved a little bit, and then it was like real fast, just pew, pew, and then gone.
Wow.
And I was like, wait a minute. And we were both like, what the hell was that? We still don't know what it was.
Yeah. How big would you say they were? I know that's difficult. When
I mean, it was really far away. So I'd say from where I was at, they were still probably almost basketball size. And these were like miles away from me. We were probably pretty good size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interest.
That is really weird because it kind of sounds, it's like mine were like here.
So mine were constantly changing shape as well. So even though
they were shaped kind of like this. They were like in this figure right here. And then they would like almost like a fidget spinner almost.
Yeah, that's exactly what these were as well. And they
same kind.
And they were moving around. And they were like a silvery colour. And they looked like, you know, when the Terminator's melting.
I've not
he's going on. When there's a scene where he's like melting and it's like silver melting, basically. That's like the color of these things, I would say. That's how they look.
Yeah, the ones we saw, they were like super bright, but they almost had like a yellowy tinge, but not much. They were so bright that they were just like almost like you couldn't really. They didn't have a color. It was weird. It was like they were just super radiant, and yeah, it was really odd. Maybe we saw the same ones.
Yeah, that's cool. And me and my mother-in-law to this day, when we're at like family parties and stuff, we'll talk about it. We get that look. People are like, really? You sure they weren't balloons? And we're like, no, we know, because we were like blown away by this.
Yeah.
And I had my
balloons don't move like that.
No, these things were not. It wasn't a balloon. There's no way. And we don't know what it was, but I had my iPhone in my pocket as well at the time. And the camera wasn't as great, so you probably wouldn't have got it great anyway, but it's still, that bugs me as well.
When I saw mine, I was so little, we didn't even have cell phones. Like I was just
Yeah.
some country bumpkin in a field in Indiana.
Yeah.
Just putting around in the back of a beat up truck.
But
Jeez
when,
Louise, I'm from the country.
but when I saw that UFO when we was 14, we didn't have phones then. Well, I had a Nokia brick, what we call it.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
the
like
peanut?
yeah.
That thing
It
was
was
a
like,
brick.
it was dangerous if you got hit
Yeah.
with one of them. But that's all we had. So yeah, I couldn't get a picture of that one. But
Huh.
yeah.
That is so crazy. Because now a lot of mine are more paranormally based. Obviously, they kind of like me. And it's just been weird stuff. Weird stuff happens all the time. And I did have one incident where even I still go, was that real? Was it not real? And it was straight up alien related. I was in something. Something took me. I don't remember being taken. I remember being in my room and I was going to sleep and I felt weird. And then I woke up, or at least I think I woke up, and I was on this cold, it felt like a metal table. Like you would see at an old doctor's office, right? And I had nothing on. Somehow I was just in the buff and there was a strap that went across my chest where my shoulders were. And I had a strap that came incorrect. It was by my tatas. Sorry, my bad. I'll be specific. And I had a strap that was on my head. And then I had my arms were down on my sides and I had the strap that went on my hips that was holding my hands down. And then I had one that was on my knees and one that was on my feet, like my ankles. And there was this huge light right above my head. So I couldn't see. It was so bright. Like when you go to the dentist and they put the light in your mouth and you can't really see the dentist anymore. But it was like this imprisoned. Thank you. And that is weird. And there's this huge
Wow.
light. And off to the side, I saw at least 3. And they were, you know what? I drew a picture of one. And it was the craziest thing. What happened was, so there was one big one that I remember seeing. It was tall and it had these really long arms. And it was scrawny, but it had a beer belly, like a pygmy, only really tall. And they were like a bluish color. And they had this weird shaped head. So they had the big eyes, like a gray that you see typical grays having. I don't remember really seeing a nose, but there's like something where it would have been. And I couldn't really see much of a mouth. And it's like they were talking to each other because they were making gestures and stuff, but I couldn't hear what they were. There wasn't any noise. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm driving me crazy. Leave my nose alone. It didn't do nothing to you. Here it is. So this is what the top of it looked like.
Oh, wow.
And it had this, like,
Man.
so it was like a gray shape almost as a head, but at the top, instead of it being rounded, it was like it was huge, like a big satellite dish. And it was like caved, like a triceratops frill. And it was just huge. And they had these really long fingers. And it was weird because they kept looking at me. They were like looking down at me and they would look at each other like they were confused. They couldn't figure out what was going on. And I kept feeling like somebody was like squishing around my insides. It didn't hurt or anything, but it was like I could feel stuff moving. And I was like, this is really weird. And then they were like confused again. So they'd like look in there and they'd look at each other like, what the hell's going on? And then they looked like they were talking a little bit. And then I looked down and there was like this red, it was like a red laser is what it looked like. And I have a scar right above my belly button from which it's already there. So I had my appendix taken out. But right where that scar was is where I saw this thing like shut me, like melt it. And you can't tell anything anyway. Even if you did cut it open to sew back together, my scar is like horrible. And so I just closed it back up and then they just looked frustrated. And then I was like back in bed. But whenever I got up, I woke up in bed, my stomach hurt so bad. Everywhere where it felt like they were moving stuff, it just felt like my insides were like cramped. Like Tasmanian devil got cut loose in my stomach. And I was nauseous. And I was like, oh my God, my stomach hurts so bad. It was just, it was horrible pain.
Wow.
Interesting. Now here's where it's going to get real crazy. Because normally when you hear of somebody being abducted, they abduct women, right? And they go, how do they go in? Do you know how they go in to look?
Not sure.
Through the belly button,
Okay. Yeah.
typically. I had surgery like 5 years ago. My belly button's fake. My real belly button is gone. The doctor made me a
What?
belly button. Yeah, my belly button's fake. And so
Oh.
they made their own belly button. So mine doesn't look like a normal, like you can't get to me through my belly button like you could a normal person because there's nothing there. There's no connection since they cut it and severed it and just made a new one. So one, they went through my scar and not my belly button because they're like, what the hell's happening? This isn't right. Like, why can't we get in here? Two, why do they take women? For
So-
hybridization.
Yes.
Guess what I don't have? When I was 23, I had a full hysterectomy. I don't even have a uterus. So they were looking, it's like they were looking through me, and they were like looking at each other. What the hell? Like they couldn't figure out where it was. And I was like, that all actually makes sense. And I didn't even put that together until like days later. And I was like, wait a minute, that actually makes sense. But it was really weird. It was just like, I was asleep. I was there. They were like, what the hell's happening? Like, why can't we use her? And then they were like, oh, damn it, Bob, you grabbed the wrong one. And then, yeah,
That's wild.
it was really
You've
weird.
been abducted.
Well, that's the thing is I'm like, was I dreaming? Was that real? It felt real,
Mm-hmm.
but
That's what a lot of it seems. There's confusion with,
yeah.
and yeah, that fits the description of most abductions I've had.
And I've tried to find other people that have seen one that looks the way that I saw one looking. No one I've found so far can tell me what exactly I saw, like what this thing was.
Yeah.
We've gotten close, but no one's looked exactly like mine's looked. But yeah, I still go, was that real or did I just have a really weird dream?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have anything to show. There's nothing there. You know what I mean? It's just like my
Wow.
scar.
Yeah.
But when I first woke up, I was like, wow, that was a really weird dream until things started to hurt. And I was going, wait a minute. Was that a dream? Because this really actually physically hurts.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
And did it feel, because you get dreams sometimes that you know is a dream. Like you wake up, you know you've had a dream. And then sometimes you have a dream that it feels different, but it feels real. And it feels like when you wake up, it actually affects you. Did it feel like that?
I have a lot of those. I also have dreams that happen. So yeah, I totally know what you're talking about. But yeah, but this one, it didn't seem like, it was just really weird. It was like, it didn't feel like a dream, but everything in my head was going, that was so weird. It had to have been a dream.
Mhm.
Had to have been a dream. There's no way. So now I get why people don't report things because I'm still like, I do this for a living, basically. And
Yeah.
I still am questioning myself to be like, was that legitimate? What was the weird part was the last dick kicker here. I had the next day, I was supposed to record with Stephen and Leslie Shaw.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And I was telling them that I didn't have any firsthand encounters. That was 2 days before. This happened 2 days before. I
Oh,
told them
wow.
I didn't have any encounters the week before. 2 days before we record, this happens.
What?
And I record with them. And I was like, that is so weird.
So that was quite recent as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like it just happened like a few months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And have you ever had anything else like that?
Just those little lights that I saw when I was a kid, but that's it.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I had Linda Thompson on the show, and she was telling me that she believes 1 in 4 people get abducted in their lifetime, and most of them don't know it.
Makes sense.
Mm.
But then what would constitute why? Is it either because they don't think it's real? Or is it because they like lost their memory or whatever?
Well, that's what you hear. You hear a lot of people that get like screen memories, or unless you hear that quite a lot, and then people have regression, and then they might start remembering things. I don't know, man. It's weird. There's a lot of strangeness to this
And-
world.
If they have all this technology, surely they have something that
Mhm.
can do that, right?
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
if
you
they
can make an
really-
alien pair with a person, surely to God, you can Men in Black that shit.
Yeah. And I always think if they really didn't want us to know, or have any idea, then we wouldn't. But we do. We've got clues. We've got people that have. Some people remember a lot of things. Some people
Yes.
remember little things.
Have you heard the theory that grays are just future versions of us?
Hmm. Yeah,
How do you feel about that?
I think that could be true. I really do. Again, I think there's different types, but I do think there could be possibly,
I
when you think of where we're going as a species, but I don't, this is just with AI and stuff, and
Yeah.
with what Elon Musk is talking about putting chips in us, which I think is going to happen. Even though I say now, I would never put anything in me, I do think that in 20, 30 years' time, it might even be before that,
all they have to do is put it in your water.
like we need our phone, we do need phones now, whether we like it or not, we need a phone.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to have something inside us that is probably gonna change how humans are. We're probably gonna be, and we might start talking telepathically, like you hear with which you do hear is coming. It's scary. It does.
I have literally been sometimes it's not even with people. Like it could just be a person, and I literally can hear them
Hmm.
in my head saying something, and I will call them, and it's exactly what they were talking about. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay. Or like my husband, he's really skeptical about things, and I don't know how because I keep doing this crap to him. But he'll be sitting there, and I'll hear him ask me a question, and I'll answer it. And then he looks at me, and I'm like, what? And he's like, why did you say? I'm like, didn't you just ask me? I didn't say anything. I was like, but you were thinking it, weren't you? He was like, yeah. I was like,
That's wild.
It
That's
doesn't happen all the time.
dangerous,
It's just
man.
sometimes. Yeah, I know. I could be real
That's-
deadly with one
That
of these.
is dangerous.
Only if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
I don't control any of it. It just happens.
But do you think possibly there's a way if you looked into it more?
So I want to find out if there's a way, because some of the stuff I could do would be really cool if I could figure out how to control it.
Yeah. Again, I think as people, there's a lot more that we can all do.
My big thing is physically, I understand the concept of our eyes being bigger because of the sun and all that bullshit, and not needing as much muscle and not needing this and needing more of that. I understand that. But to go from what we are now to that, think about, there's, in theory, if you believe in this, cavemen. But we really aren't that different from cavemen. It's not, there was cavemen and then a giraffe.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it were to be that much of a jump, it'd be like us and then another squid. Damn squids today. But it'd be like the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's so far different. Aside from having a head, 2 arms, and 2 legs, we're nothing alike.
Hmm.
I've not heard people tell me that grays look different. This is a gray is a gray.
Hmm.
But does one gray have one eye bigger than the other eye? Is one arm crooked? Maybe broke his femur, or you know what I mean? But no one ever says that. It's just a gray looks like a gray looks like a gray. However, there's also no one thoroughly good look at him usually. It's usually, it looks like this. It's got a big head because you're like, damn, look at that guy. But you don't get a real good look. The ones I saw, I could tell you, if I could figure out how to freaking put color and shit, like I could see the colors in the bones. They had collarbones. I could see they were skinny up here. They had collarbones and they were really kind of bony and lanky. And I don't hear a lot of descriptions of gray. It's just, it's got a big ass head and these big O eyes.
Yeah.
So now, granted, if we infuse some sort of tech into the human genome, wow, I'm sounding a little fancy here. Get ready, guys. Grab your glasses and your little protractors.
Let's go.
And you intersect that into the genome, and then say there is some type of apocalyptic or some kind of catastrophic something, and the population of humans goes way, way down. Then you have, one, the technological advantage, but it's also going to change people, as you don't know how it's going to adapt. It's kind of like people, you put a testosterone pellet in a man's butt cheek, and it does all kinds of things to him. So Lord knows what anything else could be implanted in. But then if you have the diminished population, then you also have a very small gene pool. So maybe the grays are a combination of maybe the tech and then the advancements, but maybe we just ran out of, the pool just got small.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they're hairless and weird colored and all of that. Maybe it's just really poor genetics, because the population, even though we were trying to be hybridized or whatever, that certain population just so happened to be wiped out for something. Maybe they oopsied the wrong thing. We had an I Am Legend situation.
Yeah.
Like,
And maybe
whoops,
that's why they're
whole
coming
population
back.
gone.
And we're talking about the breeding program that we hear a lot about. Maybe that's why, because they're trying to get back to the having
It would
billions.
make sense.
And
Isn't that more primal DNA to work with, to have those stronger building blocks to work with, to add that diversity into the gene pool again? My only thing would be, it would take so many more than what, granted, we don't really know how many are really out there, but you would think that it would be such a big thing. So many people, like mass people, would be abducted in order to make that stronger building block and stronger population in the future possible. It would be a noticeable, because if you're up there and you go back, you don't give up. You don't care. You don't care about these people.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you just swoop a whole town up, a whole city, a whole state, a whole country, hell, to be like,
true.
all right, there's enough here to make it happen, and take them all.
Yeah, man.
Why not?
Yeah. Maybe they are.
But I think if whole ass places like that were disappearing, we would know.
Well, when I say maybe they are taking something that they need from a lot of people, maybe.
I just feel like if there was that much of a substantial amount of things happening, whether they return, if it's a catch and release program, even if it's that, the amount, although there are a lot of people that report it, I feel like there would be so many reporting it that it would then not be as outlandish as it is currently to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean,
And if they come back, they've got to know, take people of power, take people like this. They're going to take, people are going to disappear that are important, and people are going to notice. They're not just going to be like, oh, and Billy Bob Chump Change over here with him and his meth addict buddies. Like, they're hopefully that's a catch and release situation. But you know what I mean? I feel like there's got to be some kind of scan or some kind of prerequisite, something that maybe there's a little fun. As with us gingers, with our genetic mutation, we could be identified, in theory, as being different just based on a scan or a prick. It doesn't even have to be a blood draw. It could be a prick nowadays, let alone in the future if it is the case. So what could they get? Definitely. Thank you. Integrate with us. But if they could scan people and just pluck those ones out and then return them, there's got to be a way to do it without physically grabbing them before you need to extract whatever it is that you need to extract.
Yeah.
So that would be my only thing. And then it'd be, how could you get them? I just feel like it would take a lot more substance. What? Oh my gosh. Oh, this is a really bad idea. But it just popped in my head. There are DNA cells that you release when you take a dump. What if they don't need us? They just need to identify the population that's going to give the shit that they need, literally.
Yeah.
And they just go swoop it up out of the...
And once they find it.
Yeah. Now that would be ideal for humanity. Eat shit.
Oh, they're not looking at mine.
But you know what I mean? No, like certain people, it's just, you can identify people with parasites because of what they have, or you can identify a diabetic because of a urine sample.
Yeah.
What if it is just something like that, that they can, they're trying to figure out, maybe they found people with it. And I've heard a lot where they will be in the line. So if you're abducted, then like your kid's abducted, your grandkid's abducted, like they stick to the line. And what if it's not necessarily because it's lying, it's just because they can't figure out yet what it is about you, but something about that bloodline works. But once they crack the bloodline, there might be other people that fit. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Ufologist Natasha coming at you.
Done. Because what I find, because when I put an abduction episode out, and I do get people messaging me saying that they've experienced something similar.
Mhm.
I find that interesting. And I always say, do you want to come on the podcast and talk about it? And sometimes they're like, no, like, I don't want to,
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to know about it. I just wanted to tell you that I can relate to what that lady was saying. And thank you for like putting it out there and stuff. And I really like that. I love it when people do that.
Me
and
too,
reach
but
out.
nobody ever gives any feedback.
They will.
I'm not cool enough for feedback.
Yes, you are.
The only people giving me feedback are the invisible ones in here in the room with me. They're like, keep it up, girl. We'll pat you on the back. Maybe picking my nose is something that's like the ghost version of a high five. And that's why it's been itching all day.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, it's like a spectral booger.
Yeah.
That is exhausted after we went through our little science lesson here. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. This has been fantastic. I just partially wanted to keep you talking just because I like to hear you talk. No shame. And go
Thank
check the
you.
video out because, come on. We would make
Yes.
beautiful redheaded babies together.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, is there anything you want to add before we check off?
I just want to say thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. My face is actually hurting where I've been smiling so much. So thank you. I've really
You're
enjoyed that.
welcome. I'll see you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. If you wouldn't mind, please take a moment and give the show a 5-star review wherever you're listening. I know it might not seem like much, but it greatly helps the show and allows people to find us more easily. Also, head on over to www.patreon.com/Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy and subscribe to any of the tiers. Members of the Big Show tier get bonus materials, personalized shoutouts on the pod, ad-free episodes, access to the private Discord server, quarterly appreciation gifts, and a chance to be on the show. Not to mention video versions of the episode. Before you go, don't forget to click the link in the description and grab yourself or someone you know some self-designed merch by me, or make a donation to help keep the show going and fund future events and investigations. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Threads, and TikTok. If you have any questions, topic recommendations, or personal encounters, please send them to cryptidscreepsandconspiracy@gmail.com or submit them through the contact form at www.cryptidscreepsandconspiracy.com. I would love to hear from you and share your experiences on a listener episode. Just make sure that you specify that I have permission to add your encounter to the show and let me know whether or not you would like your real name read or an alias to maintain confidentiality. Thank you guys all again so much for your support. Until next time, my friends. See ya.